What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. What's up, all my Mythians? How is everybody doing today? Thank you very much for tuning in. This is your friend Caleb Smith from Caleb Smith TV, bringing you a brand new GFL 2 live stream. This is Girls Frontline 2, Exilium. Plenty of hot anime babes, guns, crazy stuff going on, different units that we can assemble, create our own teams and things like that. So, very fun. Wait. What? No, guys. No, this is a bust. What is this? 22? Bro. Bro, that's literally like 10 o'clock. Dog, how long are these maintenance? I saw that they were doing maintenance, but it didn't say it was today, bro. Bros, we were supposed to get through the story today. That's literally in like 3 hours, I mean. At 10 p.m. No way. No way. Hold on. Are you serious right now? Are we deadass? Said 8:13. Look. This was literally last month. 8:13 server maintenance announcement. I saw that. Where's the announcement for today? They just drop a maintenance on us? They dropped a maintenance on us right as I was about to do a stream, guys. No. No, 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 no. Are we deadass? There's no announcement. There's no notice. Just a random maintenance? Please tell me that it's okay. Come on. Just launch. Work with us here. Are we for real right now? Today's stream might be a bust, guys. We might have to wait till tomorrow. We legit might have to wait for tomorrow, guys. This is incredulous. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in. What's up, Azriel? What up, Tevin Wolf? What's up, Dr. Sturgeon? What's up, Metal Frost? Guys. The stream is a bust, guys. We're gonna have to do something else. Caleb, I named my 5th chapter for my FNAF-inspired LEGO lore. It's called The Crystal of the Departed. It's about Jeremy's ghost friends sacrificing themselves to become a crystal for the Soul Shard Blade. What the heck? You have legendary weapons in your FNAF lore? Yo, that's insane. What's up, Metal Frost? I appreciate you tuning in. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I don't know what we're gonna do. I was literally gonna complete some of the story today. We gotta do something else. This is a joke. Okay. Whatever. Whatever, guys. By the way, guys, it says that there's Girls Frontline 2 feet in my search history. I promise that was an accident. I swear to God. I was looking up Girls Frontline 2, and like one of the first things that came up was Girls Frontline 2 feet, and I accidentally clicked on it. I swear to God. I swear. Okay. I don't know what we're gonna do. Look at this. There's us. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. The stream is a bust today. How are we doing today, guys? How's everybody doing? How are we doing, Metal Frost? How are we doing, Tevin? Thank you for the reactions. Thank you for the reactions. The best streamers don't fold under pressure. Hey, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Jeremy uses the sword to kill Sandman and the Mimics, and he confronts Moonfalcon, but Moonfalcon says he will never leave Jeremy. He will always be a part of Jeremy. Bro, who the heck is Moonfalcon? Yo, Dr. Sturgeon, you're giving me too many spoilers on your lore, man. I don't know who Moonfalcon is. I'm trying to see, like, if maybe we can find some, Oh yeah, a bunch of people are talking about quitting the game. I don't really care about that. I'm just now getting into the game. I don't know why I would boycott the game. Some, like, financial thing or something, like they're making the game too expensive. Ooh, here's somebody else's stream. Here's somebody else's stream from a couple days ago. They only have 9 subscribers. Recon XZ. Recon XZ. What in the world? Yo, we're getting spoilers. We're getting spoilers. Mad spoilers. Alright, this guy doesn't have a voiceover, so I'm not very interested. Niketa Visual Guide. I am interested in Niketa. Hold on, let me see this walk animation. What is this? This is not even the same game. Okay. This is Cyberpunk? Yo, this isn't even the same game. Get me off. Get me off. This is... What the heck is that weird stuff? Best free-to-play DPS. Sharky build and guide. Alright. We can check out some Sharky, I guess. Hold on, wait. I want to know about some Krolik guide. Krolik visual guide. Okay, let's just watch this video.
TFL2 is a game that combines the strategic
this is how I found the game, by the way.
with rich character progression through its
this is how I found the game.
Also known as T-dolls.
From YouTube ads. Just like this.
Design of these dolls.
Can y'all hear it?
Designed costumes all the way to
Here.
the detailed rendering of
Gotta
their
turn it up a little bit.
Is some of the craziest
See?
stuff in the
It's
industry.
not
You
me.
don't have to
It's
take
not
my
me.
word for it. One look at
I
the
like it, but it's not me. I'm not the one showing off the girls' feet. That's other people. Look at that, guys. Holy crap. I gotta get to this point. I was really hoping to get closer to this point today. Oh my god. When do we get to this point? When can I put whatever baddie I want in my room? That's what we're trying to do. Okay. Here we go. Krolik visual guide. Team attachments rotation. If Nemesis is not a part of this video, I'm going to be mildly upset. Look at the thigh gap. Holy moly. What's up, Tevin? It's Brandon. Yes, sir.
Welcome back, Commanders. My name is Alchrist, and today I'll be briefing you
Jack
on
and Dax goes too hard.
Bunny, Krolik.
Yeah, dude.
Krolik
Jack
is
and
a
Dax
full
does go
building
hard.
Fire T-doll. She's capable of applying overburn to several targets at once, making her
I like
ideal
Jack.
in teams, as well as being able to hop through obstacles to get to locations much faster than any other T-doll.
Wait, I'm locked in.
Hairy situations at once, making her ideal in burn teams. as well
Burn
as being able to
teams.
hop through Krolik. Krolik is a sword-wielding, field-dashing fire T-doll. She's
Fire
capable of applying
T-doll.
overburn to several targets at once, making her ideal
Overburn.
in burn teams, as well as being able to hop through obstacles to get to locations much faster than any other T-doll. Although it might put her in
She's
scary
fast.
situations.
She's quick with it. Skills and
I will
playstyle.
mention that in all my guides, I'll be referring to Confectant's Index as skill points, since this is much easier to understand.
Oh yeah, quick shout out to the
quick.
person that made this video. Quick shout out. It's Alchrist. Alchrist. He's at 2.44 thousand subscribers. 2,400 subscribers. Go give this man a subscribe. I'll drop a subscribe on him. I'll like the video. Show the support. Okay. Confectant's Index, skill points. Confectant's Index equals skill points. Notable buffs and debuffs. Overburn. Suffers 10% of Krolik's attack at the end of their turn. Damage also applies to adjacent enemies. Ooh. A bit of an AoE DOT.
Skills, starting with active skill 1, Crushing Revolution, which costs no skill points and doesn't have
Crushing-
any cooldown.
Crushing Revolution level 1. Active AoE melee. Yes. So Krolik is a melee character. That's why I'm super interested in her. Stability damage, only 1. Select 1 enemy target within 1 tile. Very, very low range here. Very low range. It makes sense. She is melee, dealing AoE melee physical damage equal to 120% of attack to it and all enemy targets within a 3x3 area around it. Gain 1 point of Confectant's Index. If there are no other allied units within 3 tiles after attacking, gain 5 tiles of additional movement. Ooh, like a get in, get out. What? That's like a get in, get out type beat. Get in, hit the enemy at melee range, then get the heck out so that we're not taking any extra damage from enemy units. Very cool, very cool. Read the message I said about Moonfalcon. Moonfalcon is a spirit bound to the living world and afterlife. Unable to pass on because of Jeremy's actions, Moonfalcon is an echo spirit Jinn. What? Wait, there's an official fan-made PC port of Jak and Daxter? Hold on, there's an official PC port of Jak and Daxter. Which one? Is it the original? I might actually play that. I might actually do that, bro. My fave songs are Demons Are a Girl's Friend, Vargamore, and other ones. It's got a PC port called Open Goal. Open Goal. Yo, what's up, Mariah? Found me after so long. It has been a while, Mariah. It's been a while. Glad to have you back. I do remember you, Mariah. I remember you. Thanks for sticking with the channel. Thanks for pulling up. Moonfalcon was the one who sent Jeremy to the dream world, and Moonfalcon conjured up the Sandman. Whoa, Moonfalcon is OP. He's a big character. Hold on, guys. Let me turn off my fan real quick. Let me give my fan a quick shut off. I think it's messing with the mic. There we go. Should be a little bit better. Okay, so Krolik has this get in, get out ability, which I like that a lot.
Select one target in an adjacent tile, and we'll do AoE physical damage equals 120%.
Let's see what she does. She runs in, smacks, big AoE,
by 1 to all targets
and then she gets to move again.
1 skill point.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here.
All right, get off the screen, Ryan Reynolds. Come on, man. Get off the screen. Okay.
Within 3 tiles of Krolik after using this attack, she will be able to move 5.
He's combining her with Sharkery.
Krolik's active skill 2 is Quenching Slash, which has a 3-turn cooldown. She attacks an enemy in an adjacent tile. She will apply Overburn to them for 2 turns, and then deals burn damage equal to 100.
Quenching Slash. 2 stability damage, a little bit better than the first one. Once again, select 1 enemy target within 1 tile. Apply Overburn to it for 2 turns. Deal melee burn damage equal to 150% of attack, and gain 2 points of Confectant's Index. This seems like a really good move. After the attack, return to the original position before the action. Holy crap! Holy crap, she has such get in, get out ability. She's like an assassin. She gets in, does a ton of damage, then gets the heck out of there. I like it.
Of her attack and reduces
I like it a
2
lot.
stability. She then gains 2 skill points. Directly after the attack ends, she'll
Look at this.
teleport back to
Oh,
the
that should...
position before
Oh! That was dirty.
Krolik's basic attack is instantaneous.
Holy crap,
slash.
I was like, oh, it's just single target. And then everything exploded.
She then gains 2 skill points.
Look at this. Okay, so there's 3 enemy units. I have no idea what those enemy units are. We're not at that point of the story. But she runs in, stands in front of these 3 enemy units. She's targeting this Goliath. Smacks it for not very much damage and applies overburn to it.
She'll teleport back
And
to the
then
original
teleports
position before the
backwards, and everything in that
action.
radius
Krolik's basic attack is
exploded.
Instantaneous slash. She attacks an
Instantaneous slash, basic attack, targeted melee. Stability damage 1, selects one target within 1 tile, dealing melee physical damage equal to 80% of attack to them. Okay, so this is her basic attack. I wonder why it didn't show this off first. It should have showed this move first, because there's nothing special about it.
enemy in an adjacent tile.
Just does a lot of damage, you know, at melee range, and then she just stays there.
And deals physical damage equal to 80% of her attack, and
Ooh!
reducing 1 stability.
What was that last little thing that just happened? What was that? She walked in,
And deals physical damage equal to 80%
hit
of her
him,
attack.
and then exploded? That's the overburn. Overburn looks so good.
Attacks an enemy in
Boom!
an adjacent
She double strikes. Hold on, she double strikes.
instantaneous slash.
Climbs up the
She
ladder.
attacks an enemy
Boom,
in an
boom. Double strikes for 400, then 800, minus 1 stability.
tile, and deals physical damage equal
And
to
then the
80% of her
overburn
attack, and
activates,
reduces
boom, 172. But he still had a lot of health left. What the? I don't really like her basic attack. It's very weak.
1 stability.
It is a basic
Krolik's
attack after
ultimate
all.
is Slaughter sequence, which costs
Ooh, here goes the ultimate. Slaughter sequence. Selects one direction and moves to the furthest tile within 7 tiles. Ooh. So it's like a lineup ability. The farthest tile within 7 tiles, dealing melee burn damage equal to 130% of attack to the first enemy encountered. If the target is already inflicted with overburn, ignores their cover damage reduction, and gains 5 tiles of additional movement. So if they already have overburn, cover is not going to help them very much. Being behind cover is not going to help them. And once again, she gets to get in and get out. I love her abilities. I love the fact that she can just run in, deal a ton of AoE damage, and then get the heck out of there. Because somebody said that she's kind of... one of her weaknesses is that she puts herself into precarious situations. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that she has to run in at melee range, it puts her in some difficult situations. But she makes up for that because she literally gets 5 extra tiles of movement, so she can get in, deal all that damage, and then just run out back to cover, which I think is really cool.
She selects one direction to dash in from her location and will move up to 7 tiles. She will stop at the furthest.
I have no idea what these
tile in
maps
that
are,
direction.
guys.
She will deal burn damage equal to 130%.
These
of her
maps
attack
look
to the first
complicated.
enemy in that
Oh,
direction.
what is she
This attack will do
doing?
damage with
Oh!
to the other side, as
She
long as
just
they were in
dashed
the
so
7 tile
far.
range.
Burn
These stats
damage.
will go through all
Why does her
obstacles and
damage
gaps
look
and
so
is not
low?
affected by elevation. If the target has overburn, she ignores any cover bonuses and gains the ability to move 5 tiles.
Is that
after landing.
Sharkery? That's Sharkery right there.
Krolik's passive is
Sharkery looks
Nemesis.
kind of cool.
She would deal 15% more damage to any target with overburn. And at the end of her action,
It's
she will
looking
apply
like you want
overburn
to
the
pair
closest two
Krolik
enemies
with
within 5
Sharkery.
tiles for
He's
2
got
tiles.
Groza on the team. He's a real one. He has Groza
When
on the
deploying
team.
Krolik onto the field, the key element to playing her
Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. There should be no reason that Krolik isn't one-shotting things. Because of the fact that she is melee, and she does have to put herself into these precarious situations, precarious positions, then she should be able to one-shot most enemy
hit
units.
and run tactics.
Let's
She's
see,
very
right here.
squishy, but all of her
It's gonna
skills
deal a
have
lot of
relevant
damage.
criteria you should aim for so that she can
Boom.
attack
Okay,
and
that
attack
one
with
shot.
safety. She's better off being
He was
alone
already
somewhere and
weakened.
applying overburn to targets for a team to utilize. When it comes to a basic
Ooh!
rotation, she doesn't really have one.
Wait, the AoE's
Instead,
around
use a kit based on
herself?
the situation she's in.
I'm trying to
Use
figure that
active skill
out.
1 as a default action. Since it doesn't require any skill points or a cooldown,
Here
it
goes
is completely
Groza.
spammable. Try and make sure she is away from
These
other
enemies
heroes
are so
and she gets extra
tanky.
movement to get back into
Right now, we
safety.
basically
Use
one-shot
active skill 2
everything,
when
but
she is in a good
eventually,
position to return.
we're not going to be able to
Use
one-shot
the
everything.
DPS actions, so try to use it on cooldown. Use ultimate to get to faraway targets or to traverse obstacles. Clever use of the ultimate will get to locations that aren't usually accessible. If you're using this,
Is this gonna deal
enemy
damage to
territory,
everything
try
right
to
there?
apply overburn to them
Ooh,
first,
she's
so
a
that you can get
samurai!
good movement to get back into safety.
She's a samurai. She does a
She
little
can never
sword
use
dash
basic
thing.
attack. On to her pros and cons. She has really strong synergies. Her base kit synergizes
Strong synergies with burn and AoE comps. Can apply overburn to multiple enemies at once. High mobility. Ultimate teleports Krolik.
really well with burn teams and AoE teams. She can even apply overburn to multiple enemies at once. And she has high mobility. 9 base movement allows her to get in, with another 5 to get out. Her ultimate's ability to dash across anything can be abused on some maps. As for her cons, she has terrible stability damage.
I noticed
She can
that.
only do 1 to 2
I noticed that. Okay, so terrible stability damage. I was noticing that. Like, her max stability damage was what, like 2? It was like 2 or no? Very squishy, exclusively melee, bad on auto battle, which I don't really care about. I don't plan on doing too much auto battle. And exclusively melee, I don't really mind that. I've kind of figured, you know, that she uses a sword and shield. Of course she is exclusively melee. But the very squishy part, I guess that is a big con. I'm not too fond of that, because if she's going to be exclusively melee, they should add some extra defense to her to kind of counteract that. You know? So the fact that she is very squishy is kind of, I don't know about that one.
And her ultimate doesn't reduce any stability. Not to mention that enemies that are weak to melee are very uncommon. She is very squishy. One wrong misposition and it will cost her life. And finally, she is a melee doll. She has 0 range attacks aside from the pseudo ult, and will have turns where she just skips because she is not in reach of any targets. And auto battle is terrible with melee dolls.
Ooh. She's so cool. She's so cool though, guys.
Fast free delivery. It's
She's so cool. Like, throws the sword at him.
Introducing the business card.
All right.
Back all you put in. The new
Get
Chief
these
Sapphire
ads
reserved
off the
for business.
screen. My apologies, guys. Builds. Here we go. I was hoping to see some builds.
Krolik's best weapon is the
There
battle pass,
she is.
the Crown Jackalope. Its
That's a
trait
pretty cool
allows
little
Krolik to
skin.
Take another turn every 3rd kill.
Crowned
It's a
Jackalope. Is this her melee? This is her blade. Calibration rank 1. Attribute details, special effects. Weapon features, direct confrontation. Increases damage by 15% to enemy units with full HP or a lower HP percentage than the user. If there is no cover near the target, deals 2 points of stability damage to the target before the attack. For every 3 kills caused by active attacks, gains 1 instance of extra action. Okay, I'm just reading words. I'm not really understanding. Increases damage by 15% to enemy units with full HP or a lower HP percentage than the user. So if they have high HP, she deals 15% extra damage. If they have low HP, she deals 15% extra damage. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm reading this correctly, then high HP units, 15% extra damage. Low HP units, 15% extra damage. If there is no cover near the target, deals 2 points of stability damage to the target before the attack. Well, that's a little bit of extra stability damage. Now hold on, because if you use an attack that deals 2 points of stability damage, and then you have this direct confrontation happening as well, then technically you're getting a total of 4 points of stability damage, which is a lot of stability damage. That kind of balances out, you know, that kind of balances out her stability damage issue, right? That was one of her cons. That was one of her cons, was low stability damage, but this weapon kind of counteracts that. And then for every 3 kills caused by active attacks, gains 1 instance of extra action. So, if she manages to get 3 kills by herself, you know. If she gets 3 executions herself, then she gets an entire extra action, which can include movement and attack. That's kind of broken. Her weapon is really good, guys. Crown Jackalope, her melee blade seems to be really good. Yo, Metal Frost, you dyed your hair black? Bro, I didn't even realize that you dye your hair. But now it makes sense. You do have some really dark hair, dog. Touched it up. Yes, yes, Mariah. I remember you. Caleb, I'm a big fan of that fan. Hold on, Jelly. Dr. Sturgeon, what were you about to say? Moonfalcon is an overpowered spirit. He's the most powerful spirit in the lore story. Yo, Jelly. Where are the girls at, dog? Where are the girls? You need some more girls in your lore, bro. Where are the women?
Confrontation increases damage to enemies with either full HP or lower HP than Krolik.
Jelly, we need an overpowered woman in your story as well, dog.
If the target has no cover, she will reduce their stability by 2 before the attack. Her second option is Resurrectrix. It has crit rate.
Whoa!
Trait restores skill points after using.
Let me look at that weapon.
Resurrectrix.
Rectrix? Another melee blade? This one looks pretty nice. This one looks pretty nice. Calibration rank 1. Sovereign Presence. When using an active attack, deal additional fixed damage equal to 10% of attack to targets not at full HP. For targets with lower HP percentage than the user, increase critical damage by 20%. It's got 341 attack and 25% crit rate. I don't know. I like the other one better. It kind of balances out her stability damage problem, and it has the extra damage built in. You do not need to crit. You do not need to crit. When using an active attack, deal additional fixed damage equal to 10% of attack to targets not at full HP. So the other weapon, they have to be at full HP if you want to deal 15% of extra attack. This one, they have to not be at full HP, and you'll deal 10%. So it kind of balances out. I mean, this one could be good as well, but they have to take a little bit of damage first, and then it's at max potential. And if you're dealing plenty of crits, which it does have a built-in 25% crit rate, then you will also be dealing an additional 20% for a total of around 30% extra attack as long as you're critting. So, Sovereign Presence could be pretty good. It could be pretty good. Maybe. I kind of like the other one a little better.
And its trait restores skill points after using an attack.
After using an active attack, gain 1 point of Confectance Index, which is pretty good. Can trigger a maximum of once per turn. I was kind of expecting that, but it does have that other extra turn. Wait, that other weapon literally will give her an extra turn if she survives. It's not like you can combine 2 weapons, right? You can only use 1 weapon. It's not like you can just combine this weapon with the other one. So how would you end up giving her an extra turn? Maybe there's dolls that give extra turns, guys. There might legit be, like, characters that will give other characters extra turns on some support type stuff.
Attack. Sovereign Presence will deal fixed damage equal to 10% of Krolik's attack if they're not at full HP, but offers crit damage instead if they're at lower HP than her. If you don't have either one of these, you can use a namesake, the hair. It has
Yo, what's up, Ghostly King 77? My man Ty, how we doing, bro? How we doing? We're just up in this joint looking at some bunny girl stuff. This is a Krolik visual guide. She's one of the characters that we unlocked recently and added to the team in Girls Frontline 2, Exilium. And so, since the game is down, let me go check that, by the way. Because the game is down. I'm very upset about it.
Girls Frontline 2 Exilium.
The game is down. I'm going to check it again. Hopefully it's just a little bit off. Nope. I swear, it says that it's not coming back until like 10 p.m., guys. What a bust. What an absolute
Same
bust.
extra action trait as the crown.
We are not gooning to the maintenance, guys. We are not gooning with the maintenance.
Jackalope and Prairie Hunter increases their
Wait a
hair.
second.
Yeah,
Wait a
same
second. I need to see this weapon. This weapon looks
than
insane.
her. If you don't have either one of these, you can use the namesake, the hair.
The hair. Oh, is this her basic weapon? The hair goes with Krolik. Prairie Hunter level 1. Before attacking, if the user moved more than 6 tiles, increase this attack's damage by 10%. So as long as she moves a lot, at the very least 6 tiles, then her base damage will be increased by 10%. Also, the attack on this weapon is only 244. This is not a good weapon, guys. This is not a good weapon. I see why he showed off the other weapons beforehand, like the Rectrix. Rectrix looks very good. Crown Jackalope also looks very good. Crown Jackalope looks nice. Rectrix looks nice. I don't know about the hair. The hair looks very lackluster. I think this is her base weapon that comes with her.
Extra action trait is the crown Jackalope.
For every 3 kills caused by active attacks, gain 1... Okay, so she still gets the extra turn with this weapon, though.
And Prairie Hunter increases attack damage based on how many tiles Krolik has moved. Her attachments are for the DPS archetype.
She's sleeping,
Based on
guys.
attack percent, attack, crit rate.
She's sleeping. Attack percent. Attack. Crit rate. Crit damage. Wait, what is this? What is this? Is this like a ranking of importance? Or is this... What is this?
Focusing first on attack percent.
Okay, so... Attack percent. Then attack. Then crit rate. Then crit damage.
Attack, crit rate, and then crit damage. A reminder that the only attachment that can have crit damage is the muzzle. When it
Muzzle? The only attachment that can have crit damage is a muzzle. And muzzles do not go on swords. Muzzles go on guns. Krolik does not use guns. So basically what I just heard is that... What? What did he say?
A reminder that the only attachment that can have crit damage is the muzzle.
So the only way to give her more crit damage from attachments is... There is no way to give her crit damage from attachments. She can't put a muzzle on a sword. So she gets no extra crit damage from attachments.
When it comes to which attachment sets the farm,
Looks like late game rare weapons for sure, bro. I could tell they were legendary. Looks like the hair is a purple rarity. The other two look to have some sort of legendary yellow. Top left. Hold on, I did not see that. I was not even... Okay. So, Crown Jackalope. I see the yellow bar. And on Rectrix, I see the yellow square. Yeah, and on the hair, I see the purple. And purple usually signifies epic. So, perhaps we have the hair, which is epic rarity. Nothing crazy, but still pretty good. And then the Rectrix and the Crown Jackalope are both legendary yellow rarity. That's actually a nice call. I did not notice that. So yeah, the hair is meant to be a little bit weaker than the others.
when it comes to which attachment sets the farm, use the Phase Strike set.
Phase Strike deals 15% increased damage to targets with phase element debuffs. Whatever the heck that means. I have no idea what that is.
Increases damage by 15% as long as I have an elemental debuff, which you can easily apply Overburn.
Wait. Overburn is a phase element debuff. So you give her Phase Strike because it goes with Overburn. Correct? That's what it sounded like.
When it comes to which attachment sets the farm, use the Phase Strike set. It increases damage by 15% as long as I have an elemental debuff, which you can easily apply Overburn. When it comes to affix keys, the best ones to obtain is 203, Fierce Predator. When using an active skill 1,
What the heck is this? We got a skill tree or what? Fixed key. Fierce Predator. This is an evolved node. We have not seen any of this stuff. I'm just trying to learn because this is kind of stuff that we were planning on learning at some point. But it's taken us a while to get through the story, especially with the dang maintenance. The active skill Crushing Revolution deals 30% increased damage when hitting a single target. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool because I believe that Crushing Revolution is an AoE skill, so it can hit multiple targets. But if you're ever in a situation where it only hits one target, then you can use this fixed key in order to guarantee that it'll get some value. Even if you're hitting one target with it, it will still have increased value, which could be good.
If it hits only one.
Jumping. He's jumping, trying to get the star. Yo, Tev, I see that. Yo, you gonna get it? It's still there, bro. It's still there. Jump. It's gonna come back around, bro. Oh, it's gone. I was just gonna lift your character. Oh! I should have lifted your character up. I could have lifted your character up, bro. I could have grabbed it with him, I think. Storm Dragon! Very cool. Woo! I'm gonna throw our characters across the screen. Woo! 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 Where did I just go? I just threw myself literally out. Oh, there I am. I respawned. Okay.
One target, they will receive an extra 30% damage. 401, Blazing Fury, when there are no allies with
Blazing Fury, a different node. If there are no other allied units within 3 tiles of the user, increases damage dealt by 10%. I think this is a pretty good one, because Krolik goes on a lot of solo missions based on what I've seen. And what I mean by that is, obviously you have girls with guns, right? You have girls with guns. You want to keep your girls with guns at a safe distance from the monsters with guns. So you put your girls with the guns sort of in the back line so that they can deal damage from far away with the guns. And then the thing with Krolik is that she does not have a gun. So she's going to be moving away from the girls with guns towards the monsters with guns. And if she's doing that, she's basically going solo. She's going in by herself, dealing damage by herself. She's the only one in her radius. And so with this kind of Blazing Fury fixed key, she will constantly be dealing 10% increased damage. Constantly dealing 10% increased damage no matter what attack she uses. I really, really like the sound of that. Not to mention that after she uses some of those attacks, she gets to get out as well and move back towards the girls with guns. So, pretty much, if it was up to me, I would probably be using Blazing Fury and using her in that kind of combat style.
within 3 tiles, she will deal an extra 10% damage. And 601, Instinctive Pursuit. At the start of the turn, if there are any enemies inflicted with Overburn, she will gain Blazing Assault for 2 turns.
At the start of action, if there are enemy units with Overburn on the field, gains Blazing Assault 2 for 2 turns. So this is more of a burn build, fixed key. This is more of a burn build. You want other units on your team that can also apply Overburn. So that way you're not relying on Krolik to be the only person applying Overburn. You can put somebody else on your team, deal some Overburn damage, then send in Krolik to do this Instinctive Pursuit. You get some value off this Instinctive Pursuit. By the way, I'm glad that I'm reading this to you guys because I know that you can't really see it because of the comments. I do apologize, but don't worry, I got you guys. Instinctive Pursuit, that's what we're looking at right now. So, if you're going to run the... Also, I don't know if you just get all of these for free no matter what. That's another thing. I would assume that you have to select one of these and you get more of them over time. Like you unlock them. These fixed keys. I would assume that you unlock them over time and then you just select whichever one you want. But for all I know, you could just have all of these unlocked all at the same time and use them all at the same time. I don't know how that works. I really don't. So, in the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I do not plan on running a burn build. Not right now, anyway. I do not plan on running a burn build. I know that Krolik is a burn unit, and that she deals a lot of burn and things like that, and I am going to use her burn abilities, but I'm not going to just make everybody on my team a burn unit so that they all support Krolik. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. I don't plan on doing that. I plan on using Krolik to the best for abilities and having 2 other units that also have very unique and strong abilities that they can have specific jobs to follow as well. So I don't really know how Krolik's going to work. That's why I'm trying to learn. That's literally why we're watching this video. But from what I can tell, it's like they really try to push you into building your entire team around the burn mechanic, where in my opinion, even though the burn seems to be pretty prominent in her loadout, I would say that it should be a cherry on top, right? It should be a cherry on top, because the most it appears to me that the most value that you're getting from Krolik is just the fact that she goes in and she does deal a bunch of AoE damage to enemies at melee range, or sometimes she's dealing very high single target damage to certain enemies at melee range. And then after all that's said and done, you just get her out, put her in a safer position, put her behind some cover so that she's not taking any unnecessary damage. And then boom, that's how you use Krolik. And not to mention that since most of the time she is going to be the closest one to the enemies, that means the enemies are going to be going out of their way to target her, because she's going to be the closest one to them. So she's going to be an easy target, and so the enemies are going to try to target Krolik. So it almost makes her a tank, which in my opinion is how she's supposed to be. She literally has a shield. It said that she's squishy. It said that she's squishy, and I don't really know. What up, Danny? What up, bro? It's okay. It's okay. This is kind of a chop stream. Did you say Kroll with Eternal Burn? No, I said Krolik. Krolik with Overburn. So, basically, like I said, I know that it said Krolik is a squishy girl, okay? She's a squishy doll. But I'm going to do everything I can to make her not squishy. Because if she's going to be my girl that's on the literal front line, then I need her to not be squishy. Because she's on the front line, she's going to be taking a lot of attacks. If she's taking a lot of attacks and she's squishy, she's going to die very easily. We cannot have that. We cannot have that. So we are going to do everything in our power to make Krolik not squishy. And if she has to be squishy, then we're just going to boost her damage out of the roof so that she takes out all of the enemies by herself, so there will be no enemies to attack her. I don't know how we're going to do this. We're going to figure it out.
This is a burn buff that will increase her attack by 15%. Her other 3 fixed keys are usable if you prefer their effects. 201 Momentary Focus reduces the ult skill point requirement to...
I really wish I know how these nodes work. I have no idea how these nodes work. Okay, now we have Momentary Focus. Reduces the Confectance Index consumption of the active skill Slaughter Sequence by 1 point, which Slaughter Sequence, I believe, is her ultimate. Reduces the Confectance Index consumption of the active skill. Ooh. You'd go for an ult build. I don't know how these nodes work, but it looks like if you were to select this Momentary Focus, that it would be very good for her ult. She would be able to use her ult at full power at times whenever she's not actually full power, and the power comes from Confectance Index. Confectance Index is like a stacking mechanic in this game. It's something that you stack. It's basically a background trait that you stack with other skills, and then once you have enough Confectance Index, then it will empower some of your skills that require this Confectance Index. So Confectance Index is actually very good. Anything that deals with Confectance Index, I would say, is pretty good. Like this one's the first one that I've seen that reduces the amount of Confectance Index that you need. So this Momentary Focus honestly looks pretty good. I'm not sure how good it would be, because it doesn't increase damage. It just makes damage easier to deal. That's literally all it is. Doesn't technically increase your damage. It just makes your damage a little cheaper.
To 3, allowing more frequent use and usable on turn 1. 403, Proud Challenger, reduces her active skill 2.
We got another fixed key, Proud Challenger. When the active skill Quenching Slash kills an enemy target, reduces this skill's cooldown by 2 turns. Ooh. Ooh. So, wait, I like this one. So you could use Quenching Slash, which I believe was a good ability. I don't remember what Quenching Slash did, but I know that it has to be one of the abilities where she gets in and gets out. She gets in, deals damage, then gets out. Now imagine being able to do that, like, a lot. Imagine being able to do that a lot. Let's see, where's her skills? Quenching. Where are we at right now? 643. Quenching Slash. What's the cooldown? 3? It's a 3-turn cooldown, so you can reduce the cooldown by 2, making it a 1-turn cooldown. Yo, Quenching Slash. Return to the original position before the action. Oh my gosh, this is such a good skill. Yo, this is literally such... Dude, it's such a good skill. Quenching Slash is such a good skill. You're telling me that we could, with this Proud Challenger evolved node, that we could basically be using that skill like every turn? Or at least like every other turn? As long as we're getting kills? That could be good. If we could learn how to use Quenching Slash to guarantee kills, then this Proud Challenger would absolutely pop off.
2 if it kills a target. And 603, if she moves more than 3 tiles before attacking, she gets a bonus 10% crit. Her common key is...
But before attacking, if this unit moved more than 3 tiles, increases the user's critical rate by 10%. So if you've got a weapon like that, whatever it was called, with the flower on it, then you're going to be dealing... you get the base of 25% crit rate, right? Then this Hidden Poise will increase by another 10%, giving you a total of 35% crit rate. 35% crit rate, and that's only if you have the legendary weapon. This one seems kind of lackluster. But it looks like it might be required for some critical builds. Like if you're going for a critical hit build, then you possibly would very much want Hidden Poise.
Art of Violence. It gives crit rate.
Common key, Art of Violence, 3.0% crit rate, another crit rate item, or another crit rate key, I guess. These are keys, character keys. They do stuff. I don't know. It's kind of like passives. It kind of reminds me of a skill tree. If under the effects of a burn buff, which is going to be happening a lot with Krolik, gains immunity to frozen and frigid, and increases damage by 5%. Ooh, a little bit of element counter. It can counter frozen and frigid, which seems to be, you know, like ice element type stuff. So she can counter that stuff. That's pretty cool. Fire counters ice. I mean, that totally makes sense.
And if she has any burn buffs, she becomes immune to freeze debuffs and increases damage by 5%.
I like that. I really like that, guys. I did not know about the element stuff. I had no clue about the element stuff. So the fact that... Because it mentioned that she is a fire unit. She's a fire doll. So she does fire stuff. Give her Heartsteel. Are you still streaming League after this? Would you test out my new hit game called Guppy's Regalia Palm Bubble Tinkerton? What the heck is going on? Danny, you're just making stuff up, bro. You're going insane in my chat just making stuff up. Dude, Krolik is a fire type T-Doll. And fire types, apparently, at least Krolik herself, can counter ice type T-Dolls. If I'm understanding correctly, and I had no idea about this element stuff happening in the game. We have not gotten that far. I need to make that clear. We have not gotten that far in the game to where elements actually are at play. But we did just unlock Krolik. So, eventually, you know, elements are going to be a thing. There's elements that counter other elements.
deal is Diane Shattering Stone and Silk. At the start of every
What in the world is this? Is that a Krolik skin? What am I looking at? Who is on the screen right there?
%. Other common keys she can steal is Diane Shattering Stone and Silk.
Who is this? That's not Krolik. That's somebody else. Shattering Stone and Silk. Crit rate 5% at the start of the action, gains movement up 1 for 1 turn. This has a cooldown of 1 turn. What? Who is that? I don't know who that is.
At the start of every second turn, she gets movement up 1. Vepli's Heart Melting Strike increases damage to enemies.
Is that Vepli? Who is this? Heart Melting Strike, attack boost 5% if the user's mobility is greater than or equal to the target's increased damage dealt by 7%. I don't know what he's talking about.
Enemies that has less mobility than her. Otherwise, any common keys that increase attack or crit values would work. Next, we'll have a quick look at the fortification.
The buns! Dang, Krolik's so fine.
At V1, her active skill 1 will ignore...
What is this? Segment 1? Crushing Revolution? Level 2? If the target is under the effects of Stability Break, ignore 30% of its defense.
Or 30% of the target's defense if their stability broken. At V2, her active skill...
Different segments? I'm not sure. Damage multiplier increased by 10% on Quenching Slash. We need that one.
160% attack
Quenching Slash looks like one of her best
V3,
abilities.
If her ult kills a target, 2 skill points
If her ult kills target, gain 2 points of Confectance Index, which we know is very good.
will be regained. At V4, the range of her passive's overburn hitting targets is increased.
Embers, level 2. Range increases by 2 tiles. Ooh! Yo, that almost seems required. Instead of only being 1 tile, right? Unless I'm getting this wrong. Because all of her attacks are 1 tile attacks. She's a melee unit. So she can only attack anything that is directly around her. It has to be directly in front of her, directly to the right diagonally, directly to the left diagonally, or directly to the left and right, respectively, or directly behind her. Hopefully that would never happen. That would mean that she's in a pretty bad position unless she's one-shotting things. But with this Embers, level 2, the range increases by 2 tiles, which means it no longer has to be directly around her. It can be like 2 tiles away. It can be like 3 tiles away. Right? Because it has to be 1 tile away. Increase that number by 2, now it's 3 tiles. Right? They could be like 2 or 3 tiles away. They no longer have to be directly in front of her with this move, that seems really good. That seems really good. It almost makes her no longer melee. She's still melee, she still has all that melee damage, but she's got some range to her.
Increase from 5.
That's segment 4. It seems pretty important. Guys, Caleb secretly plays an even larger Gooner game called Titanium Melon Jawlock Bundums. Bundums? 100% real, not fake, guys. Bundums, bro? Really? How about you get your Bundum and equip a new GUG? How about that? Did you ever think about that one? You're still using the basic GUG, Danny. What the heck's up with that?
5 to 7. At V5, if the target she hits with the ult has overburn, it is a guaranteed crit. And at V6,
Wait! I didn't even see that one.
V5, if the target...
Slaughter sequence level 3 at segment 5. If the target is inflicted with overburn, increases critical rate by 100%. That's a guaranteed critical hit. With segment 5, slaughter sequence, you can get a guaranteed critical hit as long as they're affected with overburn, which Krolik can apply by herself. She will get a guaranteed critical hit, which means increasing critical damage seems pretty important. He said increasing critical damage is like the last thing that you want to do with her. Dude, if it's segment 5, I'm sure that segment 5 takes a while to get to. But if at segment 5, she gets guaranteed critical hits on her ultimate, then you could increase her critical damage because you don't need crit rate because she's going to be getting the guaranteed critical hit. You can increase her critical damage, and that'll make her ult deal tons of damage. That'll make her ult deal tons of damage because, first of all, it's a guaranteed crit, so automatically the damage is going to be, like, doubled, or, like, 1.5 times, or whatever it's going to be, and then you just increase that damage even further, and now you're looking at like double damage. You're looking at like triple damage type numbers, you know? Huh. Oh, what I just click? I don't know. Okay.
Because she hits with the ult has Overburn, it is a guaranteed crit. And at V6, when she attacks any target with Overburn, she...
Ember's level 3? When attacking a target with Overburn, increases critical damage by 20%. Wait, is Embers an ability? I don't remember Embers being an ability. This is a passive, right? Embers is just a passive. Am I wrong? Embers should just be a passive. When attacking a target with Overburn, increases critical damage by 20%. This is what we need. This is what we need. This combined with the other one that increases the ult damage. Yes. Segment 5 plus segment 6 looks absolutely insane. Of course, that would be the bottom 2 segments. The last 2 segments. I don't know how segments work.
Deals 20% more crit damage.
There's our baddie, guys. Woo!
To finish off,
She does not play.
Teammates to field a long Krolik. Her best pairing is Sharkry. Applying Overburn to multiple targets allows Sharkry...
That's her best pairing is Sharkry? Bro! Krolik's best pairing is supposed to be Nemesis. That's literally part of the story. Why is Nemesis not in this video? Yo, why is Nemesis not in the video? Seriously.
to trigger action supports. Applying Overburn also helps trigger Centrosity's bonus effects.
Ooh, I like the little curtsy. Thank you for at least putting Groza in the video. Thank you, guy.
His bonus effects. Groza can be helpful to buff Krolik defensively to prevent getting one-shot, as well as drawing in aggro. Otherwise,
Yo, I like that. I like that. That's why we love Groza. Apparently, Groza is like a support. She can increase people's defense. She can increase
to prevent getting one-shot,
units' defense,
as well as drawing in aggro.
And she can taunt enemies? What the heck? Yo, Groza. I love Groza.
Krolik works best as a flex spot in burn teams. Here are some examples of team compositions.
Here is what I actually wanted to see was some team compositions. So if you're going for a rounded team, you got Krolik as the sub DPS, and then you have Groza as a flex. I don't know who these other girls are. I have no idea what this stuff is. Burn team. There's some burn units right there. I don't know who some of those units are. Then we have Vanguard. And I don't know who those units are either. Where's Nemesis, bro? It's literally part of the story that Nemesis and Krolik are very, very good partners. How come there's no Nemesis and Krolik team? There literally should be a Krolik and Nemesis team. I'm going to make it. I'm going to do that. I'm gonna have Groza, Krolik, and Nemesis all on the same team, and they're all gonna work excellent together. Okay? I don't know what any of this crap is. All right? I see the burn team. I don't know what Vanguard is. Well-rounded. Okay, I get it. I get it. Gotta have Groza in there for the well-rounded. She's literally the girl. Groza is the main. Alright? She's the second in command. She goes in every team. Groza goes in every team. Okay? What's up with the Krolik stuff? Why are you making Krolik so gimmicky? Like, that's why I'm not liking it right now. I'm not liking it. Krolik is you're making her gimmicky with the focusing too much on her burn. Yes, she does burn. Yes, she does burn. Is that all she does? No, she's got some sick melee damage. She has a get in, get out. She could be a little bit tanky. Like you said, buff her up with Groza. Buff her up with Groza. That's what we're going to do. We're going to send in... First of all, we're putting down Groza. Second of all, we're putting down Krolik. Third, we're putting down Nemesis in the back. Then, we're going to use Groza. I didn't even know Groza could do this, by the way. But then, we're going to use Groza to make Krolik more tanky. Why are we going to do that? Because right after we do that, we're going to send in Krolik right down the enemy's throats. Right to the enemy. We're sending Krolik as like a little gift package to the enemy. A gift package of death. And then we're going to use Krolik to deal some serious damage to that enemy. And then guess what we're going to do? We're going to get Krolik the heck out of there because that's part of her skill set. She gets in, does some damage, gets out. And then guess what? The enemies are still going to try to target her because she's still going to be the closest in range. But guess what we did like 2 turns ago? We made her tankier with Groza. So now she's not getting one shot. Then it goes back to our turn. Guess what happens then? We send in Krolik again. We do it all over again. We do it all over again. The whole time, guess what's happening? Nemesis is in the back line going insane with her sniper rifle. She doesn't have to do anything. She stands in the back and starts sniping the enemies. Guess what? The entire time the enemies are getting burnt to death. Because Krolik is applying burn. That's her skill. We don't have to make everybody deal burn damage, bro. We don't have to make everybody deal burn damage. Krolik can just do that. That takes away from Krolik whenever you start building burn teams around her or doing this and doing that. Like, it's already set up for you, bro. It's literally the first 3 dolls they give you. It's part of the story, dog. It's part of the Wait, there's 4... You can only have 3 girls on a team. Why are you showing 4 girls? I'm noticing that as well. Hold on, I gotta let my dog out. Why are they letting 4 girls, bro? It's saying flex. Like, you have 3 girls and you might be able to flex one of these other girls in there. You know, trade them out if you need to. No! No, you're supposed to build a team that can take on anything with no changes. You're supposed to build a team that can take on anything with no changes. Thank God Krolik is a fire type. She's going to be our counter to ice types. If you build a burn team, doesn't that just full counter ice types? What do you do against like an enemy that counters fire type? I don't know what counters fire type. But what do you do then? What do you do then? Because I imagine if there's going to be fire type teams, then obviously there's going to have to be units that can counter fire types. So if you build a fire type team, you're going to be easily countered by whatever element that is. I don't know what that is yet. I'm not that deep in the game, but isn't that what's going to happen? Unless I'm stupid. So, why would you build a burn team? I understand why, because the more burn you have, the more burn you have. And then you're just capitalizing off of this burn system. I understand that it's probably very good and valuable. But it's gimmicky, bro. That's gimmicky as heck. And it does not sound fun. I feel like the first 3 units they give you, like I already see how they work together. I just said it. Groza makes Krolik tanky. You send in Krolik. You deal some damage, you apply some DOT, then you get her out of there. Now she's going to be taking a little bit of enemy fire. You have Nemesis in the backline, dealing insane damage with her sniper rifle, taking out whatever Krolik doesn't take. She cleans up Krolik's work. Whatever Krolik can't take out, boom, Nemesis is on it. Whoever's the closest to Krolik and looks like they're about to kill Krolik, boom, Nemesis is on it. She's a freaking sniper.
And that about wraps up this character briefing for Krolik. I hope this guide helps, and if you have any other suggestions on how to build a teammates, make sure to leave a comment below. Until next time, Commanders.
Alright, thank you for the video. Thank you for the video. I know that you're just trying to make like the best video that you can possibly make. And a lot of that was informative and good. I just didn't like the team lineups. I'm sure that you didn't even create those team lineups yourself. You probably, you know, just looked at what's best and what's working and everything, and I understand you looked at the meta or something. Come on, guys. We got to create our own meta in these type of games. Forgot to mention in the pros that her aggressive personality is fun with the fights with Nemesis. See? I had to go to the comments for somebody to mention Nemesis. That's crazy. Krolik's squishiness makes it harder to use her as a mobile lone wolf. Even with the ability to move again after attacking, the enemies can just catch up and move around her cover to blow her up. And lack of diagonal targeting makes things worse, when it was already dicey because of her melee attack range. I personally find Vepli to be a lot better for that role, because she has some range to her attacks, and can be a lot more durable. Still, Krolik works really well for Sharkry, so I ended up investing in her all the way. Okay. Frolic with Krolik. Klukai guide where? I gave her burn boost and have 64% crit rate. That sounds pretty good. I don't know. I don't if that's the meta, if those teams that I saw are the meta,
12 new earth tones. Paint like ink.
we're just going to create our own meta. We're just going to create our own meta. All right, let's look at a Nemesis video. Nemesis visual guide team, attachments, rotation. Another video by Alchrist. Wait a second. This one has 20,000 views. This is a 20-minute video. That's a little bit long.
Nothing gets between you and a good book.
All right, Amazon. Thank you. All right, here we go. Nemesis guide. Not gonna lie, I don't even remember the commands. Change it. Let's see what it is. Because the commands are in the description. Yep. The commands are in the description. It is command avatar space avatar name in order to change it. And if you would like to buy a new GUG avatar, it is command by space avatars space avatar name. And you can see the avatar names in the avatar shop. Once again, in the description. Holy crap, Nemesis is a baddie.
Welcome back, Commanders. My name is Archrist, and today I'll be briefing you on your brand
She's
new
so
T-Dog,
bad,
the
guys.
Six Sniper, Nemesis. Nemesis is a sentinel rifle aiming weird talking T-Dog. She is capable of applying defense down to help defeat high HP targets, and her ultimate can hit like a truck with the correct setup.
Skills and playstyle.
I will mention that in all my guides, I will be referring to Confectant's Index as skill points, since this is much easier to understand.
Confectance index equals skill points. Notable buffs and debuffs. Prophecy of Morning. Nemesis's unique effect. Insight. Increase ultimate range by 1. That sounds pretty good. Defense down 2. Reduces target's defense by 30%. That's pretty good.
Nemesis has two methods of generating skill points. Starting with a passive, remote observation. At the start of the turn, she will mark.
What is up with the quality here? Yo, can we, like, fix this quality? Thank you. Remote observation. It's only a passive. I like passives a lot. Passives are good because it means that you don't have to use them. They just automatically are doing what they do. At the start of the action, marks the 2 nearest enemy targets within range with Prophecy of Morning for 1 turn. Action support deals physical damage equal to 80% of attack and 2 points of stability damage. This unit gains insight for 1 turn after using a action support. That is a lot, and I don't really know what's going on with that move.
Mark 2 enemies within 9 tiles with a unique effect, Prophecy of Morning for 1 turn. Any enemies with this effect that take targeted damage, Nemesis will follow up with an action support, dealing
What is Prophecy of Morning?
physical damage equal to 80% of her attack and reducing 2 stability. The debuff is then immediately removed, meaning the action support can only trigger once per target. She'll also gain 2 skill points and insight for 1 turn after performing an action support. It may be worth noting that Prophecy of Morning is not considered a
Did she just... Oh, wait, no, that's a different character. I thought that was Nemesis right there, and I thought that Nemesis summoned a robot to help her fight.
buff or a debuff.
But that's actually Tololo. That is a character named Tololo.
Buff, and she cannot trigger her own action support. Nemesis' second method of gaining skill points is at active skill 1,
He's got a Suomi on his team.
Enlightened Style, which has a 2-turn cooldown.
Alright, here goes Nemesis. We're seeing some Nemesis action, and we got the buns.
She attacks an enemy up to 9 range and deals physical damage equal to 100.
Boom! Oh, that's why we love Nemesis. Holy crap, guys. Look at this damage.
9 range and deals physical damage equal to
Boom! One shot. 3,636 damage, the most damage I've seen so
and
far.
reduces 3 stability. If she attacks while near cover, damage will be increased by 20%. And
She gets extra damage for being behind cover. What? Selects one enemy target within 9 tiles. 9 tiles is a lot of range. Dealing physical damage equal to 130% of attack. Increases damage dealt by 20%, so 150%. And gets her 2 extra skill points, aka Confectants Index. So, that's a lot.
she'll get 2 skill points. To clarify, she only has to be near cover, as long as she's standing next to a tile that has the
That
cover
target had his defense lowered, and she just dealt 6,000 damage to him.
shield, she will gain the bonus.
Look at that. He was completely broken. His defense was down. He did have 6 stability, though. But she just straight up yoinked him. 6,142 damage. That's why I gotta have Nemesis on my team at all times, because that damage is just no joke.
Nemesis' basic attack is Victory Portent. It has a range of 9 and deals physical damage equal to 80% of her attack and reduces 2 stability. Nemesis
Yeah, we know about Victory Portent.
Casket, which has a 2-turn cooldown.
Penetrating Casket. Selects one enemy target within 9 tiles. Defense down. That's very good. It's a very good way to weaken a strong enemy. And also, it just does a crap ton of damage for no reason. And it's only a 2-turn cooldown. Like, Nemesis is on that level. She's insane.
130% of her attack and reduces
One-shotting
stability.
things.
She'll also apply the defense down debuff to the target for 1 turn. This will reduce the target's defense by 30%.
Ulrid?
Nemesis' ultimate is Stellar Pursuit.
Ulrid? Wait, did Ulrid have a sword?
She attacks an enemy up to 9 tiles away.
Is Ulrid melee?
With 170% of her attack and reducing 4 stability.
Nemesis is just one-shotting everything. Krolik was not doing that.
10% damage.
Maybe Krolik's not that good, guys. Actually. Like, just being honest, I love Krolik, but maybe she's not that good, actually. Because Krolik, she's melee. She doesn't do a lot of damage, though. Nemesis literally attacks, like, the farthest away than any other unit, and she one-shot stuff. Nemesis OP, bro. I'm glad our girl is OP.
When deploying Nemesis onto the field, the key element to playing her is making sure she is positioned in locations that will mark targets with her passive. That can be quite difficult with a limited floor mobility.
She did not one-shot that thing.
She is at max skill points for maximum
That's an
damage.
elite level mob.
She does have some conflicting mechanics though.
Oh my
She
gosh.
wants to go first.
Ulrid
to
is
apply
melee.
Damage increases from her passive or to apply defense down.
Ulrid
Or she
looks
doesn't
kind
want
of
to kill the
crazy.
target because she wants an ally to trigger her support actions for skill points. When it comes to
Boom.
a basic rotation,
5,000
it
damage.
comes
She's
down to how
still
often she
eating
can
through
regain
that
skill
elite.
points.
Boom,
Assuming
boom.
She can perform an
Boom.
active skill twice per turn. Use active skill 1 on turn 1, and then she can ult on turn 2 with max skill points. Use active skill 2 on turn 3, and use ult on turn 4. You can then just repeat this cycle.
Some kind of combo
More
here?
realistically, she can perform her action support once per turn. You won't be able to thread an ult between each skill.
That combo looked kind of
It'll look
important.
More like active skill 1, ult, active skill 2, active skill 1, ult, and then repeat. There can be lots of minor alterations based on a skill point generation, but the basic premise is to use ult at max skill points and active skill 2 in high DPS turns.
Tololo just did like 7,000 damage with a
Free
drone.
skin we're getting through the achievements.
Oh yeah, I really want this
Armor
skin,
is
by the way,
strong
guys.
enough to
I don't
protect
really
her
care
body.
about the skin,
Or is
but I
this
want
some
this
new
character.
technology or something?
I
see how
really
she
want this
invests.
character.
She's
What the
definitely a
heck?
cat. She's behaving like a cat.
Dude, what are these animations?
Okay, that's how she sleeps.
How do we get to this
She reads
point?
the same pose.
Can't believe they hit us with the
Onto
maintenance
opposing
today,
columns.
guys.
Her fixed keys add to her utility.
Fixed keys increase utility. Strong against high HP targets. Synergizes in debuff teams.
Giving her the ability to apply defense down to the
Interesting.
action supports and increasing her active skill ranges to 10. Reducing 30% defense is very strong, and excellent in modes like Gunsmoke for other dolls to take advantage of. And once she's at max fortifications, her ult will be a guaranteed crit with enough debuffs. As for her cons, she only moves 4 tiles.
She doesn't need to
Her
move.
reliability on large
She doesn't need to move very much. You realize that, right? Nemesis doesn't need to move too much. She just needs a nice position where she can attack the enemies from far away, and then you just attack the enemies from far away and they will die because she does a lot of damage. Inconsistent skill point generation. Is it? I thought you had the combo. You just showed a combo earlier and you were like, yeah, you could just infinitely do this combo loop. What do you mean inconsistent skill point generation?
maps, as enemies will likely not be in range for her to mark her passive. And without her passive, she won't be able to generate skill points. And even if they are marked, if they die in one shot before she gets a chance to perform an action support, she will just miss out. Her passive works better in boss fights, but then they can only be marked once. Even her active skill 1 requires conditions to fulfill to gain skill points.
Okay. I mean, this guy does know more about the game than me. He knows a lot more about the game than I do. Oh my gosh! Yo! What was that animation? I think I just saw her butt cheeks clap whenever she shot the sniper rifle. I swear to God, I saw her butt cheeks clap. I gotta see that again. Oh! Her butt jiggled whenever she shot the sniper rifle,
Nemesis'
guys.
best weapon is the battle pass, the Arcana. It grants attack.
Oh,
boost
here we go.
and
We get the weapons. We get the weapons. Heavy ammo RF. 1 calibration rank. Soldier's breakthrough weapon feature. When dealing damage, if there are no other enemy units within 4 tiles of the target, increases damage dealt to the target by 15%. So she likes to target things that are by themselves. She's not really focused on groups of enemies. She wants to deal single target damage to enemy targets that are off to the side by themselves, you know, things like that. I think that's very cool. She has certain targets, at least with this weapon, the Arcana. She has certain targets that she actually wants to deal with, which is cool if we have Krolik, because we can send in Krolik to sort of apply the burn to AoE targets, like little groups of enemies or large groups of enemies. We can send in Krolik to kind of deal with those guys, and then use Nemesis to deal with any of the side mobs. Trait, attacks ignore 1 point of stability index, which is broken. That sounds kind of broken. When possessing insight, additionally ignore another 1 point of stability index. I don't even remember what stability index is. I actually don't remember what stability index is. Is that just stability? Or no? Is there a difference between stability and stability index? What the heck is stability index? I've never heard of this. It sounds good, though. It sounds really good. Basically ignoring their armor, if I'm not mistaken.
And its trait ignores 1 stability, and ignores an extra stability if Nemesis has the insight buff. Soldier's breakthrough will increase damage dealt to enemies that do not have any other enemies within 4 tiles of them. Her second option is the Somerset.
Nemesis was humming in the background. Did you guys hear that? That was actually kind of cool.
Do not have any other enemies within 4 tiles of them. Her
She's
second
over there
option is
humming.
the Somerset. It gives crit damage. And the
Samasek. We got the Samasek right here.
tiles
Hold
of
on.
them. Her second option is the Somerset.
Samasek, level 60, imprint, Mosin Nagant. I'm not sure what the imprint does. We weren't really paying attention to that in the last video. Keep it up. Phase damage is increased by 10%. Electric damage is increased by another 10%. Hold on. Is this an electric type weapon? I think this might be an electric type weapon. It does a lot of damage. We can tell this one's legendary. As Tevin pointed out, it's got the yellow background, the yellow square right here. It has to be a legendary weapon. We can also just tell by the attribute details because of the 383 attack. That's a ton of attack. Not to mention the extra 25% crit damage just kind of thrown on the top. Legendary weapon right here. It's got a suppressor on it. I think that's kind of cool. And then not to mention the electric damage increase. So Nemesis might just be an electric type. Am I wrong? Am I mistaken? Nemesis might be an electric type if her legendary weapon deals increased electric damage.
It gives crit damage and the same stability ignore trait as the Arcana.
Here's the trait. Attacks ignore 1 point of stability index when possessing insight. Additionally, ignore another 1 point of stability index.
The Samus's effect is called Keep It Up. Since Nemesis doesn't deal electric damage, you'll be mainly using this for the 10% increased phase damage. If you don't have either one of these, you can use a namesake, the 50 caliber Nemesis.
Whoa! 50 caliber Nemesis?
If you don't have either one of these,
that's her basic weapon or what?
50 caliber.
Basic weapon, heavy ammo, 50 caliber Nemesis. Invocation of Ruin. If the target's current HP percentage is above 90%, increases damage dealt to them by 10%. I like that. I like that. If they have high HP, just go ahead and knock them off a little bit with an extra 10%. Only 278 attack. You can tell that this is not like the best weapon to use.
Nemesis. It has the same stability ignore trait as the other rifles.
Okay, they all have the same trait.
Damage based on the target's current HP. Her attachments are for the DPS.
Yo! She's just hoisting the feet up in the air, guys. What?
Based on the target's current HP. Her attachments are for...
Yo. That's my girl right there, guys.
Type of attack percent. Attack.
Okay, so we're going for attack percent, then attack, then crit rate, then crit damage. That looks... Is that the exact same as last time? That's literally the exact same thing as Krolik. This guy might just make stuff up sometimes. Call me crazy. Hey, Alchrist. I appreciate your input. I appreciate your insight. I appreciate all this stuff you do. I appreciate your videos. Thank you very much for the entertainment and the information. The problem is, why is Nemesis the exact same build as Krolik here? I think you're just throwing out your favorite stats or something. You're telling us to go for attack percent. I don't even know what that is. Attack, crit rate, and then crit damage over and over and over and over and over and over on every single character. That just cannot be right. Unless I just happen to click on the two characters that have the same build.
Crit rate and crit damage. A reminder that the muzzle is the only attachment that can have the crit damage.
Muzzle is the only attachment that can have the crit damage. Guess what? Thank God she has a sniper rifle. Maybe we can put a freaking muzzle on that joint.
When it comes to which attachment sets to farm, use the Phase Strike set.
Phase Strike, once again, this is what I'm talking about, though. This is what I'm talking about. This is the same thing that you told us to use with Krolik. Do you just have your favorite stuff and you just tell us to use your favorite stuff? Deals 15% increased damage to targets with phase element debuffs. Look at the toes, guys. Wait, you can't see them because my camera's in the way? How do I even fix this? There you guys go. I hooked you up. I hooked you up. I couldn't let you get by without seeing the toes.
It increases damage by 15% as long as they have an elemental debuff, which will require another T-doll to apply for her. It's not worth using physical boost since you want to pump
She's
up her
the baddest, guys, in my honest opinion. In my honest, humble opinion, Nemesis is the baddest character in this game.
When it comes to affixed keys, the best ones to obtain is 201, Potent Curse.
Okay, so we got some fixed keys right here. Potent Curse. If the enemy target is marked with Prophecy of Mourning, apply defense down 2 before launching an active attack, which seems pretty good. Pretty good, because that defense down 2 is no joke.
When she attacks a target that is marked with a passive, she will immediately apply defense down to them before the attack.
I just don't know how to apply her passive. I still haven't figured out how to apply her passive.
603, Changing Fortune.
Changing Fortune, when this unit is under the effects of Insight, the range of the active skills Enlightened Star and Penetrating Casket are increased by 1 tile, which is insane. She already had crazy range. Adding even more range on top of her range is insane for a sniper like Nemesis.
Will increase the range of both of her active skills to 10. And 601, Fated Calamity.
Fated Calamity, that sounds insane. Fated Calamity sounds like it's going to be so strong. Let's see what it does. When a target marked with Prophecy of Morning, her passive, is killed by this unit, gain 1 point of Confectance Index. Okay, it's got to have her passive on there, and then she also has to kill it. And then in trade, she gets 1 point of Confectance Index, which honestly is not very much Confectance Index. Like, I kind of see what he was talking about now with the cons. It seems like she does require like a lot of different things going on in order to benefit off of her own kit. So like you really have to play around Nemesis. If you use Nemesis, you really have to play around her.
Target marked with a passive is killed by Nemesis, she will gain 1 skill point. The only other key worth getting is 401, Silent Catastrophe.
Hey, my viewers went up, and I know it's because I showed off Nemesis toes. I'm just saying. I know y'all popped back in for the Nemesis toes, and I know that I'm not wrong.
If the target marked with a
Silent Catastrophe, when killing a target marked with Prophecy of Morning, gain attack up 1 and damage up 1 for 1 turn. That sounds actually pretty good. Pretty good. But once again, she has to kill the target, and the target has to be marked with her passive, which I'm seeing the problem with Nemesis now. I'm seeing a little bit of the problem with Nemesis. She has to kill targets, and the targets have to be marked with her passive. And I don't even know how to apply her passive. I'm sure that it was in there somewhere with her abilities, but I did not notice it. Like, I don't even know what it does.
passive is killed by Nemesis, she will gain attack up and damage up for 1 turn. Fixed keys 401 and 603 are...
Fortune's Call. If there is cover nearby while under the effects of Insight, reduce AoE damage taken by 20%. I like that. I like that. Do we think that Nemesis would really be taking that much AoE damage? It's not like we're going to be clustering her. I don't really see any situations where we would like cluster our sniper right next to our other units in order to be taking AoE damage. Like, I guess they could just try to rip her with an AoE attack, but they're not going to get much value off of it. I'm not going to be setting any... She has the most range that I've seen. Like, she low-key might have the most range in the game. So, if that's the case, who is going to be standing next to my Nemesis? Nobody. So why would she be taking AoE damage? I don't really know about this.
And are not recommended for a core build.
Thank you. We finally agree on something. He said that that's not really recommended for her build. Thank you. Just she doesn't need lower AoE. She's not gonna be taking AoE damage, guys. She's a freaking sniper. She's gonna be in the back line away from everybody. Here we have Focused Gaze. When this unit is under the effects of Insight, gain immunity to all displacement effects from enemy units. Immunity to all displacement effects? So, like crowd control, right? Things that move our character around. She gets to gain immunity from that stuff? That's great. When this unit is under the effects... But she has to be under the effects of Insight. Once again, you have to really play around her. You have to make sure that she has Insight. And you have to make sure that her passive is on the enemies. And I don't know how to do that stuff. I think it has something to do with her ability usage. Which we looked at her abilities, and I don't know. Like, I still don't get it. I've literally used Nemesis in-game. I still don't get it. All I know is that she does a ton of damage. An absolute ton of damage.
Her common key is Blessing of the Morning Star. While Insight is active, she gains 3 movement if she kills a target. Other common keys you can steal are Mosin's...
Okay, hold on. Give me that back. Blessing of the Morning Star. Attack boost 3% when this unit is under the effects of Insight. Once again, she has to be under the effects of Insight. Gain 3 additional tiles of movement after killing an enemy target. I like that. I like that. because it's kind of like Krolik. It's kind of like that get in, get out type beat. But we have to make sure we kill the enemy, and also, we have to make sure that she's under the effects of insight. So, like, literally, every one of these keys that she has requires some kind of condition to be met. She's a very... I don't really know the word, but she requires a lot of conditions to be met in order to maximize her value. So, like I said, you got to really play around her. You have to use her kit to the best of its abilities. Otherwise, you're just kind of going in and using your sniper rifle and trying to deal as much damage as you can, which may or may not work. But if you really want it to work, you got to play around her passives and her buffs and her debuffs. But that's really cool. Being able to kill a target and then get extra movement afterwards seems like one of the strongest things you might be able to do in this game.
She gains 3 movement if she kills a target. Other common keys can steal are Mosin's all-seeing eye.
I'm not really understanding this. What do you mean keys that we can steal? What? Are you saying that we can steal other keys from dolls? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, we can use other dolls' keys on different dolls. That doesn't register with me. That doesn't make any sense. Right? Is that like the final thing you can do? Like, to really top, whenever you max out one of your units, one of the best things about maxing out a unit is that now you can use a key from other units. You can use like one of any key from any other unit in the game to really just send your unit, like really highly customize your unit to be sort of almost one of a kind. Is that what's going on? Because I honestly don't know. You're saying that we steal we steal keys, right? But then you're showing off the entire unit. Like, I don't know who this unit is. This is a Nemesis video. But I'm seeing a different unit on the screen. And we did the same thing with Krolik. And you said we steal keys? I can only assume that once we max out a unit, then we get to officially choose any passive from any other unit in the game. We can just use it, right? I don't know. Alright, this is the all-seeing eye for whoever this character is. When this unit is under the effects of insight, increases damage dealt by 7%. Okay, I can see why we would use this. I wasn't quite understanding some of the stolen keys with Krolik, but I understand this because it gives you extra damage if you're under the effects of insight, which Nemesis literally is all about that insight. So I can see why you would try to steal this kind of ability from a different unit.
Which increases damage by 7% while insight is active. Otherwise, any common key that increases attack or crit values would work. Next, we'll have a quick look at
the buns. The circular ones, if you will. Dupes are often referred to as VO6, as fortifications were known as vertebrae in CN. I don't know what that means. Vertebrae in China. CN means China, right? Or am I dumb? I believe CN just means China.
Fortifications. Our V1, a passive Prophecy of Morning, will last 2 turns.
Wait. I'm trying to read this stuff. Remote observation here on segment 1 increases the duration of Prophecy of Morning by 1 turn. That could be good. That could be very good, because you know that she wants to, she loves that Prophecy of Morning. It's literally her passive. She needs her passive. She loves that Prophecy of Morning. By the way, Nemesis, I like your earrings. I just noticed that. I just noticed your earring right there, and I do like that. Increases the duration of Prophecy of Morning by 1 turn. That's really good. Being able to increase Prophecy of Morning by any duration is very good, because that's her passive, so it's going to be very strong. She loves her passive. She needs her passive. Segment 1 seems pretty solid.
Our V1, a passive Prophecy of Morning, will last 2 turns. Our V2, our active...
Enlightened Star here on segment 2. If the target has Prophecy of Morning, increase damage dealt by 10%. Like I said, Prophecy of Morning is so important on Nemesis. We can see that with almost not every one of her abilities, because Insight, I'd say it's 50-50. 50% of the abilities, you want Insight. The other 50% of her abilities, you want Prophecy of Morning. And it's not that you want these things. You need these things. You need these things on Nemesis in order for her to work to her full potential. So being able to increase your damage by 10% just because of Prophecy of Morning seems pretty good, because that's going to be happening a lot, because you're going to be trying to get that Prophecy of Morning to make everything else work as well. So you're going to be dealing 10% extra damage a lot of the time just here on segment 2. I love Nemesis. She seems very strong.
Skill 1 would deal an extra 10% damage to targets marked with a passive. V3, her active
Penetrating Casket here on segment 3 gains 1 point of Confectance Index if the target has a defense debuff, which she can do by herself. She can apply defense debuff by herself and then use Penetrating Casket, unless Penetrating Casket does that by itself as well. Penetrating Casket, is that the ability that actually lowers their defense? Because it might be. It might be. So this might not work the way I was thinking it would. The target already has to have a defense debuff, and this is our defense. Am I wrong? Let me go back to skills. Let's see. Where is Penetrating Casket? Is that it? Yes. Penetrating Casket. Applies defense down. Yeah. Okay. Okay, maybe that one's a little bit hard to pull off, right? Maybe this one's a little bit hard to pull off because this is our defense debuff ability. So we would use this and we would not get an extra point of Confectance Index because this is our defense debuff ability. So we would not be benefiting off of this unless somebody else on our team was doing a defense debuff as well. Unless I'm mistaken. I could be absolutely mistaken. So segment 3 might require units, other units on the squad to make full value. Not a big fan. Not a big fan for obvious reasons. Because I want her to be able to activate her segments. I want her to be able to do this all by herself with nothing else. I don't want anybody else to have to help her, basically. I want her to have a job and be able to pull off that job all by herself, right? Because my other 2 units are going to have their own jobs that they're meant to be doing. I don't need them to, like, help each other too much. I don't want them to have to help each other. Because then I'm basically playing a minigame. And it also becomes highly gimmicky. So I'd rather Nemesis just be able to do everything she needs to do by herself, you know. Maybe it takes a little bit of extra work, you know. It takes a very specific order of turns in order to make it work. But I would rather that. I would rather do a specific order of turns to make all of her abilities work to the max potential. And then let my other 2 units do whatever they got to do. Whatever, the same thing. Let my other 2 units just cook with their own turns as well. Like, I'm not trying to be mixing up turns and, alright, we got to do this way with this unit, so then we can make this unit deal this max. No, this unit needs to be able to deal the maximum amount of damage they can deal all by themselves. That's just my opinion. This is an opinionated thing. Sometimes games don't work like that. Sometimes, you know, you're meant to do certain things. You're meant to build a certain way. I'm just looking for little gaps in my strategy, because I know that I'm going to employ, like, my very own strategy, and so I'm looking for little, like, I see that, like, something like this segment 3 on Nemesis pokes a little bit of a hole inside of my personal strategy, but it doesn't really matter, guys. It doesn't really matter. It's just a Gooner girl game.
debuff.
It's just girls and guns and big tatas and hot girls and all kinds of stuff. That's all this game is.
Insight, damages.
Remote Observation level 3. When this unit is under the effects of Insight, increases damage dealt by 10%. See, now that's a good segment. That's a very good segment because she loves Insight, right? She loves Insight. We're always going to make sure she has that Insight any chance we get. And just because of that, we'll be dealing an extra 10% damage. I mean, it's really that simple. I like that. I like that segment.
Is increased by 10%. At V5, while she has
Stellar Pursuit, level 2. When Insight is active, increases the damage multiplier by 10%. So, I mean, once again, we're just gaining benefits off of having Insight, which she's going to want. So it really helps, makes it a lot easier for us because we give her Insight and then she's dealing an extra 10% damage. It's really that simple. It's just like Segment 4, except for this one applies to one specific ability, her Stellar Pursuit ability.
Her ultimate will deal another 10% damage.
That's her ultimate, actually. Stellar Pursuit is her ultimate. I just now realizing that.
And at V6, the crit rate of...
Another Stellar Pursuit buff. For each debuff on the target, increases critical rate by 20% up to 100%. So if they have 5 debuffs if the target has 5 debuffs on it, we will be dealing a guaranteed critical hit. If the target has 5 debuffs on it. So I can kind of see why she would fit very nice into a debuff squad. Because with a debuff squad, obviously you can apply like so many debuffs. And then boom, you're just getting a guaranteed crit with her ultimate. Which is probably very strong. Now, once again, like I said, gimmicky. Very gimmicky. What I'm probably going to end up doing with this is that I'm not going to be looking for the guaranteed crits. I'm probably not going to be looking for these guaranteed crits. I'm probably just going to be looking for high crit chance. If we're getting at least 40%, excuse me, if we're getting at least 40% crit chance from this segment 6, I'm happy. Apply 2 different debuffs to the enemy. Now we have a free 40% crit chance. I mean, that sounds good. If we get 3 debuffs on the enemy and we're dealing 60% crit chance, if we have 60% crit chance, hey, even better. Even better. 60% crit chance, I'll take it. That's like probably the best we're going to get. I don't see us hitting 100% because I'm not going to just throw her into a debuff squad and just say, okay, everybody, let's just debuff the enemy and that's all we do. Because then that takes away from Nemesis. You know what I mean? That literally takes away from her skill set. You're literally just throwing her into a gimmick squad. Instead of saying, I use Nemesis and this is why she's strong. You know, this is the things that she can do whenever you pair her up with other people. Instead, it's just like, I use Nemesis because I apply 5 debuffs and then my ultimate gets a guaranteed crit. And that's all I do. All I do is apply debuffs and then I have guaranteed crit on my ult. And then after that, I just apply more debuffs and that's all I do. Like, no, dude, that's a gimmick and it's just not cool. It's not fun.
For ults will increase by 20% for each debuff the target has, capping at 100% at 5 debuffs.
There she is. There she is, boys. I don't understand this mask thing. She has like a mask. You see that, guys? I don't really know what that is. Is that a relic? What is that?
To field along Nemesis. Mosin works as she can match her range and apply single.
Ooh, a second sniper.
Way, plus she is unlikely to kill in one shot.
Groza goes on like every team. Groza is the GOAT.
As a counter can trigger action support.
Who the heck is that?
Apply debuffs to a large group of enemies.
What's her name?
Can trigger, meaning Nemesis can trigger her action supports. Sabrina also works. As
Sabrina?
Trigger action supports.
He's eating like a piece of pizza. Yo, Sabrina's kind of a baddie.
Works best as a flex spot. Use her utility to amp up other DPS dolls. Here are some examples of team compositions.
Alright, let's check out these team compositions. We got DPS focused. Couple of people. Don't know who all of these are. We have long range. Put her in a long range comp. And then we have a debuff comp. See? This is gimmick as heck. Is this not the most gimmicky team comps? Like, DPS focus? So just raw damage. You're just going in with raw damage and just hoping for the best. Okay. Sounds like a bad idea, but if you deal a ton of damage and you kill the enemies, then they have no chance at killing you, right? Like, if you kill the enemies fast enough, they can't even hit you. I get it. High damage makes sense. Then you have a long range. So you're telling me you're going to take away from Nemesis by just adding her into a long... Like, she has some of the biggest, longest range in the game. And you're just going to fill her team up with other people that also have long range? Why? That literally takes away from her skill set. You're literally giving her a chance that, like, other people are going to do her job better than her. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Like, you're giving other people, other units in your squad a chance to do her job better than her. She has one job. Nobody should be doing that job better than her on your squad, bro. Like, whenever I put Groza on the squad, Groza has one job. It's to sort of support the entire team. If I need her to tank shots, she'll tank shots. If I need her to deal damage, she will deal damage. That is Groza's role. Nobody is going to be better at Groza's role than Groza. Same with Krolik. She's the only girl on the squad with a sword. She's the only girl on my squad with a sword. Nobody is going to do her job better than her. Same with Nemesis. She has a sniper rifle, bro. She's the only person on my squad with a sniper rifle, which means nobody on my squad is going to be a better sniper than Nemesis. She is the sniper. Why would I put 2 other snipers on my squad? So we can just have a sniper gangbang. And now it's just snipers. Nemesis may or may not be the best sniper on the team. I don't know. I don't know who the best sniper is. I have 3 of them. You know what? No, bro. No. No long-range comp. Please. That's gimmicky. I don't care if it works. It's gimmicky. It doesn't make... It just doesn't, like, register with me. Because, like, what happens if you get completely countered? What? Isn't that how team-based games work? Or am I dumb, guys? Like, whenever you build a team in a game, like team-building games, like Pokemon, for example, you don't just load up your team with fire types, because then you're going to get wiped out by one water type. That's the same... It's like the same thing to me. Why would you put nothing but long-range units on your team? So that you can just get wiped out by something that completely counters long-range units. Because I'm sure that that's a thing. I'm sure that there's some unit in this game that just completely counters long-range units. Like Krolik, for example. Krolik has the most mobility in the game. Krolik has some of the most mobility a character can have in this game. Which means it doesn't matter if you're long range against Krolik. She's going to just run directly up to you and then hit you with her sword. Right? So why would I load up my team with nothing but long range characters just so Krolik can run up to them and then kill them? What? You know? Why? I don't think I would do that. I don't like the long range. Guys, this gimmick is heck. Like, you made gimmicks meta. Why? I'm not blaming the game. I'm blaming the players. Debuff focused. Okay, and once again, another gimmick. I literally already talked about this. Debuff focus? Really? So, you're going to do nothing but apply debuffs to the enemies and then capitalize off the debuffs. Okay. Honestly, I like that one better than any of the others. I definitely don't like the long range comp. That seems like the dumbest idea I've almost ever heard. And then DPS, I understand, bro. I understand. You gotta put Nemesis on the DPS squad. She does a lot of damage. Like, I understand you're going for big damage. Like, Nemesis is gonna be involved. But debuff focused, like, I get it. I get it. She loves the debuff. She literally has a segment that requires somebody else to debuff for her. So, like, you need somebody on the squad that can also apply a debuff. I get that. Guess what? I think Groza can do that. Call me insane. Call me insane. But I think Groza can apply defense down as well. Maybe I'm wrong, but I swear Groza can also apply defense down. Don't mark my words on that. But if that's true, if what I'm saying is true, then Groza already has Nemesis's back. Like, Groza already has her back. Groza can already help Nemesis capitalize off her full kit. We don't need to just fully focus on these debuffs. It's gimmicky. It's simple as that. It's gimmicky, but I get it. I do like it. If I was to have to go with one of these, I would probably go with the debuff focus comp. I would probably go with the debuff focus comp, just because It kind of makes sense. You just apply certain, like, oh, this target has a lot of defense. Let me apply my defense down buff. Oh, here's a boss unit. Let's apply as many debuffs as we can so that Nemesis can deal maximum crit damage with her sniper rifle, with her ult. She can deal guaranteed crit damage with her ult because the enemy has like 5 debuffs on them. Like, I get it. Let's put 4 debuffs on the enemy to get that 80%. Let's put 3 debuffs on them, get that 60% crit rate on her ult. Like, I get it. I get it. But like, what are the other characters doing? Because I don't really know what the other characters do. So all I know is that I would be using them to make Nemesis pop off. Whenever it literally says that Nemesis is the sub DPS, she's not even apparently the highest DPS on this debuff squad. Then what is she doing? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like, I'm going to try to change the meta, bro. We're going to try to change the meta. I'm going to use the first 3 characters they give us. I don't care. I don't even care if those are the weakest characters in the game. I'm going to change the meta because they literally look like they work good together. I'm going to put it very simple. Krolik, frontline. Groza, mid-range. Okay, Nemesis. Sorry, I forgot your name, baby. Nemesis, backline. Let me repeat that. Krolik, frontline. Groza, mid-range. Nemesis, backline. Krolik, frontline, deals melee damage, sword. Check. Groza, mid-range, can either move in with Krolik to help tank damage, can stay in mid-range, deal damage from mid-range with her gun, or she can make Krolik more tanky, apparently, based on what these videos have said. Groza can make Krolik more tanky. And then like I said, this is my favorite part. This is why Nemesis is my girl. The whole time this is going down, Nemesis just stays in the back line dealing massive damage with her sniper rifle. Doesn't even have to move a muscle, really. The only muscles on her body that are moving is her finger that pulls the trigger, and then her buttocks, which is jiggling from the reverberation of the sniper rifle. Those are the only muscles that Nemesis has to move most of the time. It doesn't matter if she has low movement speed, if she has low mobility. None of that crap matters because she barely should have to move at all. Okay? Unless we're playing on some insane maps, some like gigantic maps, it still doesn't matter. The bigger the map, the better, bro. Because the enemies are even farther away. Which means Nemesis is pounding them from far away with her sniper rifle the entire match. It's my favorite part of the entire comp. And it's literally the first 3 characters they gave us. Like, we don't need these gimmicks, bro. You can build a team, dog. You can build, like, your own team. You don't have to just load it up with the same stuff over and over. Like, it goes back into the Pokemon thing, where if you build your team out of nothing but water types, if you build your team out of nothing but flying types, you're setting yourself up to get completely countered by one electric type. Seriously. Do you want to die from one unit? Do you want one unit to completely counter your entire team? No. So you need to make sure that your team is set up that it can do different things, bro. You don't want your team just doing nothing but DPS, bro. What happens if you need a tank? What happens if you need a tank, bro? Excuse me, guys. What you have your entire team based on DPS. What happens when you need to tank some damage, bro? Because let me tell you, you're not tanking anything. You're supposed to deal DPS because that's all you can do. Whenever you build your... I already explained this. Whenever you build your team with nothing but long range, what do you do when Krolik flies at you, bro? What do you do when nothing but melee characters come in with, like, extra support and shields and extra tankiness and everything, and you can't not one-shot them from far away, and then they're right on your head dealing burn damage and AoE and things like that to you? Let me tell you what you're going to do. Nothing. And then, with the debuff focus squad, what happens if you're playing against a buff squad, bro? Like, you're playing nothing but debuffs, but then the enemy just starts buffing themselves. So every time you apply a debuff, they just buff themselves. Now it's still an even game. Like, who even wins? That's personally why debuff is probably my favorite. It seems like the hardest one to counter. Because even if they're applying buffs to themselves, you're still applying debuffs, which kind of evens the whole thing out. So it turns it back into an even game. Like that's why I like debuff the most. It seems the hardest to counter. Like, are we serious, guys? We're not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not building like that, bro.
And that about wraps up this character briefing for Nemesis. I hope this guide helps, and if you have any other suggestions on a build of teammates, make sure to leave a comment below. Until next time, Commanders.
Don't trust roaches to leave
Okay.
on their own.
Alright, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, you're doing that? I'm not doing that. I'm literally not doing that, Danny. I'm literally not doing that. Yo, it is 9:17 p.m., bros. I'm going to have to wrap up the stream. How long have I even been live, bro? 2 hours? I cannot believe I just spent 2 hours watching videos. Like, the game is literally... Is the game still on maintenance? I got to at least check to see if the game is on maintenance.
Girls Frontline 2 Exilium.
Exilium. Come on. Thank you. Alright, still on maintenance. Alright, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Means a lot to me. Seriously, guys, thank you. Thank you, Bread Danny. Thank you, Tevin Wolf. Thank you, Dr. Sturgeon. Thank you, Mariah. Thank you, Metal Frost. Make sure I'm... Thank you, Azriel. Almost missed you, bro. Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you. Can you give us a fun Japanese fact of the day that you've learned recently? Bro, I don't think I have learned any Japanese facts recently, dog. Oh, hold on, I got one. They drive on the left side of the road, bro. In Japan, apparently, everybody drives on the left side of the road. You know how here in America we drive on the right side of the road? Apparently, everybody in Japan drives on the left side. Like, that's something that I knew before, but I was watching a baseball game and they actually mentioned it. Because I think the pitcher was Japanese. I don't know that for a fact. But I think the pitcher was Japanese. And so the commentators were talking about it. And who was actually a left-handed pitcher. And they were making the comparison that, you know, the pitcher's Japanese, he's left-handed. And over there in Japan, they drive on the left side of the road. And I honestly thought that was really cool. Honestly. I don't know. I don't know, though. Don't take my word for any of that. I'm just literally... I got this information from a baseball game, guys. I got this information from a baseball game. But yeah, that's... There you go. You wanted a fact about Japan? I gave you one, bro. The country has an exceptionally low unemployment rate, around 4%, which allows for a high level of investment in public services, like its famously punctual and efficient Shinkansen. Bullet trains. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, bullet trains are a big thing over there in Japan. Crazy enough. Bullet trains are actually a pretty big thing. Unlike here in America, where we do not... We have bullet trains, I believe. But it's not like we have a ton of bullet trains. Center that back. Okay, we're back to normal. Alright, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream. I hope that each and every one of you enjoyed it. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I'm sorry that we did not get to play the actual game today. I hope that we enjoyed the informational videos. I decided, hey, if we cannot play Girls Frontline 2 today, then we're just going to watch some videos and we're going to get some extra information anyway. So that next time we play the game, maybe I don't have to read so much about that stuff and we can just worry about playing the game. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I hope that each and every one of you enjoyed today's live stream. Make sure to tune in to the next live stream. Hopefully next time we're actually going to play some GFL 2. Hopefully. Because I'm telling you guys, it did not warn me that there was maintenance today. I just started up the stream and then boom, got slapped in the face with maintenance. I'm sure that's highly relatable. Everybody has, you know, been through that kind of situation before. Maybe not on stream, but hey, we all know how it feels. As you guys can see, I deal with this exact same stuff. Sometimes your favorite game will just go on maintenance, right? As soon as you wanted to play it for some reason. I get it. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring the live stream to an end right now. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in. This has been your friend Caleb Smith